Let me just get a couple of things organized here. Hope you all had a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever it is, whatever your time is. I just finished watching Tusi a few minutes ago. Gut-wrenching to hear those calls. I mean, from a humanity point of view, that is just... I don't know about anyone else, but like if my mom starts to cry, I start to cry. That's the one thing. If I see a woman cry, I get emotional. It's just the way it is. I just took a shower, so a little damp still. I'm going to change the title for this one. I never do it on Rumble. I'm not on TikTok yet. And I got some videos to share. What's up, William? Yeah, something big. I'm gonna play it, but there's a couple of things, and it could be distraction. And I'm gonna play the clips from Air Force One. I downloaded them. Let me just get organized here. And I have a couple of other clips that I must warn that the contents are just, it's not easy to listen to. It's not. But when he says, I'm Air Force One, we don't know the numbers. One is too many. It would make headline news. So are you telling me you don't have intelligence telling you the numbers of the approximate deaths that have occurred in Iran? I mean, I was like a little taken aback when I heard the clip from Air Force One. Like, seriously, dude? You watch Fox News. It's your favorite, one of your favorite channels. Because he gets a lot of his information by watching TV. And I'm like, don't you see what Fox is reporting? And yeah, the numbers are all over the place. But it's literally in the thousands, whether it's 5,000, 12,000, 20,000, 30,000. Are we going to nitpick numbers? I was like taken aback when I heard the clip. I was like, what? We don't know the numbers? You don't have intelligence on the ground? You don't have intelligence gathering from Israel, Mossad, providing information of what's going on the ground? You're telling me you're totally in the dark about what's going on in Iran? Seriously? Am I led to believe that? Absolutely not. I think that's all a tactic of distraction. And I think he's going to do what's similar to to Venezuela. And he's going to say, this is your last warning. And I don't know what kind of ultimatum he may give them. Like, you need to step down as leader, similar to Maduro. Make some type of an offer. But you think that they're going to accept that? And I'm going to play the clips, because I have it. The president shortly ago on Air Force One, heading back from Davos. And another thing that's key to watch, is he going to go to Mar-a-Lago this weekend, or is he going to go and stay in D.C.? That can be an indicator to be in the Situation Room. Yeah, they have a makeshift. Really should not be. To me, that's totally insecure to have it there. But they have a a mock setup situation room in Mar-a-Lago. But he should be in, if he stays in D.C. and he doesn't go to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend, that could be an indicator. A lot of people are trying to figure this out. You don't know what's going on in the mind of the president. And that's a good thing, because that's his whole unpredictability. That's the good part. You want that. You want to keep them off. But I'm a little confused of, really? You don't know how many people, even if it's a guesstimate? What are your intelligence folks telling you? They don't know? He has to know. He has to know a basic generalized number, an estimate. You know what I mean? UN did not know numbers last week. Yeah, watch the pizza thing. For real. That's, Daryl, I have that site saved. But you guys, but he does this. He does that as part of his tactic of distraction. So I'm not reading too much into these tea leaves. But let me just play these clips. And I have to warn you, the other clip that I'm going to play, I think Tusi played it. I don't know if Goldie played it. She probably did too. Also, if it's a weather choice. Oh, that's true too. Oh my gosh. I didn't think about the snowstorm. 2 feet of snow maybe in D.C. He may go to Mar-a-Lago. Just based on the weather. That's an excellent point, Candace. Excellent point. I think that's actually, because of the weather, he will go to Mar-a-Lago. Now that I think about that point. Very excellent point, Candace. He probably will go to Mar-a-Lago because of the impending snowstorm in D.C., where they can get up to 2 feet. But let me share with you guys this clip, and I downloaded it. A few. Hold on. Okay. One is longer than the other. So I gotta make sure I play the one that's this one. Hold on. I gotta figure out which screen it's gonna play on. And get this all sorted first. Hold on. This is audio only, like what this guy was doing. Tusi. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Listen. Let me rewind it. Hold on. This is audio only, like what my YouTube is on. Hold on. This guy was doing. Figures. Tusi. All right, now let's rewind.
In that direction. We've got sizable military assets. You know, we have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction. And we'll see what happens. We have a big force going toward Iran. I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. I saw 837 hangings on Thursday. They would have been dead. Every one of them would have been hung. This is like from 1,000 years ago. This is an ancient culture. Very smart people, by the way. It's an ancient culture. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday.
Okay. He's stuck on that what happened last week. What has happened since? We really don't know, but I've been reading that the day after tomorrow, they're planning to execute a 16-year-old boy. There's stuff going on right now. He keeps bringing that up, that he stopped the executions. Well, contrary to that, it seems like they are executing people, whether they're in the prisons. They may not be public hangings. They may not be done on state TV, but from the information I'm seeing, there are executions taking place. So I don't know why he's stuck with that. He does that a lot.
said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit. It'll make what we did to your Iran nuclear look like peanuts. And an hour before this horrible thing was going to take place, they canceled it. And they actually said they canceled it. They didn't postpone it. They canceled it. So that was a good sign. But we have an armada. We have a massive fleet heading in that direction. And maybe we won't have to use it. We'll see.
You said would you like the supreme leader to step down or to go into exile?
I don't want to get into that. But they know what we're looking for.
You said today that they want
There's a lot of killing going on.
You said today they want to talk and we'll talk. So if you set something up and they asked you to...
So he just said there's a lot of killing going on. So that's important. He recognizes there's a lot of killing going on.
But, we've talked to them a lot. They should have made a deal before we hit them with the nuclear, because we really, that was a devastating hit. That whole area is out of play. And if they try and do it again, they're going to have to go to another area. We'll hit them there too, just as easily, much more easily. Because that was very advanced. They were building that for 10 years. And they'd have to start anew. So, that was a total obliteration.
And there's that clip. But in another clip, they asked him, how many people are you aware, to that effect? Oh, we don't have credible numbers. One is too many. That would make front page news in the United States. But he just said in that clip, many people have died. We can't trust anything. I mean, I can't. I won't show videos that we cannot say they're credible. We don't know the dating on them. We don't know if they're AI. I am not going there. There's no way. No way. He needs trillions so his family can take financial hits in the future while still being the richest in America. Guys, if a strike will happen, we will see the same thing play out as last time. Yes, when the airspace, I mentioned that earlier today, Sep, about the airspace. And it's not going to happen until the markets close, if it were to happen. You know what I mean? But let me play Reza Pahlavi's clip from earlier.
ایرانیان عزیز خارج از کشور، راهپیمایی‌های بزرگ و پرشکوه شما در روزهای گذشته در 4 گوشه جهان، از استرالیا تا سراسر اروپا تا کانادا و آمریکا، به هم‌میهنان شجاعمان در میهن اشغال شده نیرو و امید داده است. صدای شما صدای ملت ایران است. سپاسگزار و قدردانتان هستم. امروز در شرایطی که جمهوری اسلامی با کشتار بیرحمانه و حکومت نظامی هزینه حضور مردم در خیابان‌های ایران را بسیار بالا برده، مسئولیت شما در جلب پشتیبانی بین‌المللی برای هم‌میهنانمان سنگین‌تر است. اهمیت نقش شما از هر زمانی بیشتر است. تداوم فعالیت‌های شما لازم و ضروری است. گسترده‌تر، هماهنگ‌تر، منسجم‌تر و هدفمندتر. همانطور که در کنفرانس خبری اخیر در واشنگتن اعلام کردم، ما در این مرحله 6 خواسته مشخص از جامعه جهانی داریم. همه فعالیت‌های ایرانیان خارج از کشور، از تجمع و تحصن و راهپیمایی تا گفتگو و نامه‌نگاری با تصمیمگیران و قانونگذاران و تا اطلاع رسانی در رسانه‌ها و شبکه‌های آنلاین میبایست پیرامون این 6 خواسته متمرکز شود. نخست، حفاظت از مردم ایران با تضعیف ماشین سرکوب رژیم، به ویژه از طریق هدف گرفتن سپاه پاسداران فرماندهان آن، ساختار فرماندهی و زیرساختهایش. دوم، فشار اقتصادی حداکثری با مسدود کردن دارایی‌های رژیم در سراسر جهان و هدف گرفتن شبکه مخفی نفتکش‌های آن موسوم به ناوگان ارواح. سوم، فراهم کردن اینترنت آزاد برای ایران از طریق استارلینک و دیگر ابزارهای ارتباط امن، از کار انداختن توان رژیم برای قطع اینترنت. چهارم، اخراج دیپلمات‌های رژیم و پیگرد قانونی جنایتکاران علیه بشریت. پنجم، آزادی فوری و بی قید و شرط همه زندانیان سیاسی. و ششم، آمادگی برای گذار دموکراتیک در ایران و به رسمیت شناختن دولت انتقالی مشروع. من از همه شما می‌خواهم زیر پرچم شیر و خورشید ایران متحد بمانید. پرچمی که ده‌ها هزار ایرانی شجاع جان خود را برای برافراشتن دوباره‌اش فدا کردند. اختلافات شخصی را کنار بگذارید. از موازیکاری و برنامه‌های جداگانه در یک شهر پرهیز کنید. تلاش‌ها را همسو و هماهنگ کنید تا اثرگذارتر باشید. به یاد داشته باشید که شما در چشم جهانیان نمایندگان ملت بزرگ ایران هستید. بنابراین رفتار شما باید شایسته، متمدنانه و در تراز اخلاق و فرهنگ ایرانی باشد. من و تیمم با دقت فعالیت‌های هماهنگ شما را دنبال می‌کنیم و به زودی برنامه‌های مرتبط با روز جهانی اقدام و همبستگی با انقلاب ملی ایران اعلام خواهد شد. نگاه هممیهنان شریفمان در ایران که در بند رژیم اشغالگر جمهوری اسلامی هستند به ماست. دست در دست هم بدهیم تا رنجشان زودتر پایان یابد، تا به آزادی و رفاهی که شایسته آن هستند برسند. آن روز از همیشه نزدیکتر است. پاینده ایران.
Now, does he, I mean, I'm sure they're keeping him informed. I think it's coming. If you remember what the president said before actions were taken in Venezuela, they're very similar. Very similar. And then it happened. I mean, there were 4 points that were mentioned in this diplomacy effort. That was all the political prisoners had to be freed. Good luck with that one. 2, end of proxy support. What? 3, they have to hand over all their enriched uranium. And the fourth one, I can't remember what the fourth one was, but they were just so, they're not going to agree to any of those. And remember, that was mentioned like a week or so ago. So what's the ultimatum? Because like Tusi said, and I agree with Tusi, there's going to be a call made. Now, the outline of this ultimatum may have changed, because the president already said new leadership is needed in Iran. What would you all accept, that the Ayatollah steps down and there's an interim government, but still by those there, by the Islamic Republic, to stay in power, but under a different structure? Do you think the Iranian people want that, or do they want them all out? So when Kevin says, you know, when we're talking about diplomacy, that shit is ridiculous. Because is leadership change mean someone else, or does it mean Reza Pahlavi? What does that mean? I'm a little confused. It's not clear to me what that necessarily means. And I'm a little concerned with that, with the language. Again, we could be reading too much into it. But that has to raise some concern. So are you saying you would allow others to run an interim government that you consider to be more modest? Because look what happened in Venezuela. Everybody remained except for Maduro. He was the only one that was removed. Everybody else is still there. Are we going to have like a similar situation in Iran? Where he's got to go, but the rest are allowed to stay and replace and haven't... I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. That we don't hear some shit like that. I'm telling you. I think it's time with this force that's there to go after them with everything. That's just me. The problem is, and I mentioned this earlier, you know they're going to have their stuff in cities, populated areas, mosques, schools, like I said, populated areas, hospitals. They're going to have launchers in places where if you hit them, you're going to risk civilians. And how do we get rid of this militia from proxies that are on the streets of Iran? What are we supposed to do? I mean, the people are not armed. How do you remove that element? Do they run and scatter for their lives? I mean, this is exactly, the people don't want any of them to remain in power. They don't want any of that regime at all. None, zero, all gone. So I don't think it's going to be some kind of a deal like that. I don't. Because, again, I may be reading too much into new leadership. Well, there's new leadership in Venezuela. But, you know, they still have that militia group on the streets of Venezuela suppressing the people now. Kind of scarily looks like Iran. Because they have their guerrilla militia groups on the streets in Venezuela. How do I know? I watch the Spanish programs that Mom watches, and I see how the people are so happy Maduro's gone, but they're not happy about the condition. It's not like it became democratic overnight, because it's not. For them, it's not much of a change. Okay, you got rid of Maduro, but they're all fucking here still. Nothing's changed. Not for their lives. It might have changed from our perspective with oil and other things, but from their perspective, they're being suppressed. You remember when we saw the celebrations on the street? They quelled that. They quelled that quick. People may not be aware of that. But Venezuela is not a free democratic society overnight, all of a sudden, because it's not. We might think it is, but it's not. Now, we may have more of a puppet control of that government right now with the threat of a carrier off the shore. And if you don't follow what we say, you're next. But as far as the people themselves, what's changed in Venezuela for the people? Nothing. Zero. Yeah, they're all happy Maduro's gone, but what's left? And that's coming from the people on the streets in Venezuela. Not coming from politicians, not coming from people on the outside, but coming from the people within the country and what they're saying. Because that's different. And I guarantee if you ask the people of Iran, the majority of them are going to say, oh, hell no. We don't want just simply him gone. We want them all gone. So if there's some, I'm going to tell you, if there's some kind of negotiation where the Islamic Republic stays in power, this has been absolutely insane. Absolutely. Especially moving all the assets there, waiting till we're ready. It's been like utter confusion. So I don't think it's going to be that. I think we're going to act. I do. because this can come back to bite us in the you know what for decades to come, that the United States made obligations to rescue and save and help the people of Iran, and then we didn't. I don't see that happening. I just don't. And I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes up. I honestly think you're going to see military action and cyber and stuff going on within the country on the ground, whether it's Mossad or otherwise, or people that are actually part of the government that are now revolting against the government and are on the inside. I don't know what all of you think. Exactly, Venezuela is still the same. And I don't get that when people think all of a sudden anything really changed in Venezuela. Venezuela is a big country too. And they got a lot of guerrilla war fighters. I mean, I don't understand that necessarily. I'm not trying to make comparisons, but if you look at it, and that's what I'm saying, Kevin. The only difference is we control their oil. That would be a massive failure from Trump and a complete betrayal to the Iranian people after making that ridiculous promise 2 weeks ago to the Iranian people. And that was a comment he should have never have made. I'm sure if he were looking back, he would take that back. But then remember, that wasn't the only comment. He said, help is on the way. Go out there and protest. Keep protesting. Take over the institutions in Iran. He told them to continually go out there. And then you're saying, well, we don't know the numbers. Remember in the beginning he was saying they're being stampeded? I was like, where is he hearing that stampede shit from? Who's telling him that? Who's got his ear that's telling him some of the deaths are responsible for some stampedes? Now, don't get me wrong, it's possible, but the majority of those deaths, give me a break. It's not from stampedes. He can't back down now, and it would be actually he would look weak, and he always portrays strength and power. Do you think that the president wants to look weak in this situation? I don't think so. So that's why I still think something's going to go down. I'm just weighing all the things going on. You know, people from different perspectives. You know, people might say this or say this. You know, because you're going to have that, of course, that debate. Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? Why wouldn't he do it? Is he going to go for diplomacy? Is he going to take action? And meanwhile, I'm going to play the next clip, and I got to warn you. The content is grave. It is horrific. And I'm going to play it. And I don't think this is not credible, because like I said, you take everything with a grain of salt that comes up, because we just don't know the authenticity of it. And I'll make that claim, even though other people's running with it, and I'm going to play it too. But like I said, we just don't know. But I think it's important to hear this. And it's, oh my God. Hold on, let me put the English captions. So this is someone who called from inside Iran. If this doesn't move you, and again, you could question its credibility, authenticity, that's up to the individual. You make your own decisions. But when I saw this, I was no bueno.
مریم اصلا یه چیزی بهت بگم باورت نمیشه. یکی از بچه ها میگفت تو سردخونه ها صدای ناله میاد، حتی باز نمیکنن. معلوم نیست اون زیر بچه ها چجوری دارن بال میزن. میگه صدای ناله میاد، حتی باز نمیکنن. رسیدگی کنن. ببین چقدر جوونمون تیر خوردن. ولی همونجوری ول کردن اونجا. اصلا مریم نمیدونم چجوری صدامو به کجا برسونم. حالمون خیلی بده. جوونای دست گلمون اونجا. اصلا ببین من پی همه چی رو زدم به تنم رسدم کنن. هر گویی میخوام بخورم. مگه میشه؟ مگه داریم اینقدر ظلم؟
My God, they've got wounded in body bags. And they're moaning. And a lot of young people. Now again, like anything else, you reach your own conclusions. But my God. And this is happening all over. I honestly think the numbers we're hearing are way too low. I think the numbers, this is an absolute massacre. I was watching Tusi and Goldie, and a close friend, family friend of Goldie playing that. I was like, I was in tears listening to her. It is so moving. And I have no reason to doubt these people when they put this stuff out there. And I'm sure others would. And that's your opinion. But I have no reason to doubt that this is going on. And when you hear the people that are so terrified that they can't even go out to buy bread, that one example was a young woman, a teenager, went out and got shot in her leg twice. They're just indiscriminately shooting at anyone, anywhere, if they come out. It's like, and a lot of them are Arabic. They are proxies from other countries that are patrolling the streets. They're not Iranian. They're not Persian. They're Iraqis, Pakistanis, Afghans, people from Lebanon, Hezbollah. Even though I even heard Houthis are involved. I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, I know he's heading back from Davos to DC, but that just because he's landing in DC, you remember there's a lot of reporters on the plane. The press corps that travel with the president and his staff. Just because he's landing at DC doesn't mean he's staying in DC. I mean, he may stay there for the night, but with this, like Candace brought up, a great point. So somebody's saying, "Long live the Republic of Islamic of Iran." And again, you reach your own conclusions. I'm not going to say you're wrong or right. That's your opinion. And I'm not here to argue with you. If that's what that's what you believe in, I agree to disagree with you, but you feel strongly opinionated by that view, and you can call me a liar and everything else. That's fine. It's okay. But I have to, it's all about respect too. People have the right to voice their opinions as well. Even though you disagree with them, they have, that's the freedom here, and nobody's voice is going to be suppressed. So, mages, I see what you're writing, and it's fine. Anyway, so, yeah, just because he's coming, there's a storm coming to the majority of the United States. Just because he's landing in D.C. doesn't mean he's staying in D.C. I would have a feeling tomorrow he goes to Mar-a-Lago because of the weather coming in. I've seen reports there could be up to 2 feet of snow in D.C. So like I said, Candace brought up a great point earlier about the weather being a definite concern. So I don't think they want to be blocked in by snow. And she also says, take care about your problems and leave us alone. Do you think that the majority of your fellow Iranians feel the same way you do, Mage? Honestly, do you? And I know what you're saying, leave us alone, because you don't want any external interaction here, no interference. But is it okay, do you think, for the regime to bring in proxies that are Arab into Iran and use them against the people of Iran? Or is those lies? I'm not there. I'm just going based on what other people are telling me, including other Iranians that are in chat on the other side. You don't see them because they're in another one. But they would disagree with you. I always say this. I'm not there. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking from the outside looking in. Only the people in Iran know what exactly is going on. Or people like in the chat that are in Iran or have family in Iran and have connection to Iran. That's all. There is no proxy. So there's no proxies coming in from Iraq or otherwise being used on the streets for the martial law in Iran. All right, I'll take your word on it. I'm going to read now what other people are saying. And I am giving you fair voice. I'm reading your comments as it should be. You know, that's your point of view. And you're there, right? Mage, are you there in Iran? I'm giving that person fair voice that's in another chat. And I'm not attacking the person. I'm not going to defame the person. I'm having utmost respect to let that person voice their opinion. Yes, so Mage is in Iran. Now I'm going to read the other comments, okay, Mage? The ones in the other chats. Sam says, Trump is obsessed with Iran's current situation. He is very well aware of all the atrocities, and he's doing something about it. A person that is Iranian says, how cool it is to see alive people bagged. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Sam, when he said help is on the way, he was just looking for a surgical strike with limited assets in the region, but he got so peed off that he postponed it. And I said this many times. He didn't act because they weren't ready. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And now, Mage, I'm just telling you what the other side is saying. Why last week it looked like something was going to occur but didn't, because regardless of what you hear in the media, or not even in the media, because the media here doesn't even cover what's going on here, believe it or not, Mage. Most of it. Was it because of Qatar and Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries saying, not now, you can't use our airspace, don't do it now, try to give them one last chance, or Israel saying we're not ready, or us at realizing we're not ready. You know, you hear so many different things. Tomorrow night is the night, brother. Tomorrow night is the night. Well, it's when the markets close. Could it happen? It's possible. But the president is saying, we'll see what happens. So who knows? Trump, I'm trying to read all the comments. And you could continue to comment, Mage. If you have anything to say, you can. I will read it. Trump is a lot of things, so let them do what he can do until Sunday. After Sunday, everything begins to change. We shall see. If that's why I made this title, is the attack imminent? Will it happen this upcoming weekend? Because there's a lot of speculation that something may happen this weekend. What's up, P2? Alvaro, oh my God. I'm on TikTok, so I can't even repeat what you wrote. Yes, Sam. Iranians are begging for external intervention. But as Mage saying, they don't want, from her or his perspective, because I don't know, they don't want nobody interfering in what's going on. So there are some in Iran that are for the Islamic Republic saying, heck no, don't interfere in our business, leave us the hell alone. I'm just saying, because there are people in Iran, which you must admit, that are saying this. And yes, it's a he. And yes, they support what you guys are saying. The Iranians that are in the other chat are saying he supports the regime. I am not going to blow the person up. Which Iranian says no external help? I'm Iranian and support Trump in his strike. Again, I understand that, guys. I understand that. I'm just being fair and saying the point of someone else that disagrees with all of you. That's all. And he says we are millions that support the regime. This is what the person's saying. I'm reading it. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to put their username because I'm not going to blow the person up. I wouldn't blow all of you up. I'm just telling you there is a person that is saying this right now counter to what you guys are saying. That's all. I'm not trying to stir shit up here. I'm just telling you he represents individuals in Iran that feels otherwise and is for the regime. Because they call us a regime. U.S. a regime. The Zionist regime. Everything's regime these days. And you're right, Mage, I do not understand the way of life in Iran. I would never say I do. That's why I use the same example. People criticize New York City, and I'm from New York City, and they talk shit about the city. They don't live here. They don't know anything about it. And I say, you don't live here. You don't know what it's like. You see what you see on the news and the media, and you go based on that. And that's bullshit. Because that's what they want you to hear and believe. Crime is at an all-time high, which is a lie. That's obvious a lie, because I can prove that with statistics by NYPD. That this is happening. No. Actually, the city was way, 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 way worse when I was growing up as a kid and in my teens and in my 20s than it is now. Fact. The city is cleaner than ever. The numbers have bounced up a little bit, but they're almost 50% less than they were in the 70s and 80s for crime. I'm just using that as an example. People talk to shit because they believe everything they see or hear, but that's not the fact that goes on the ground. And trust me, it upsets me as a New Yorker. I'm not in New York City, but it upsets me because I lived there a vast majority of my life. So the same way I'm like talking all about this in Iran, I don't live there. I don't know what it's like. It would be very naive for me to do that. But based on the research and the things I'm seeing and hearing from other Iranians with family there and everything else, I have to take everything into consideration based on what you are all telling me. Because everybody has a different type of experience, right or wrong. So, do you understand, Mage, what I'm saying now? I'm not trying to, be cruel or anything. I'm trying to be objective here. But if you go in here and see what they're saying, and there are a few Iranians right in this other chat, I'm going to read to you what they're saying. Because I read what you said, and I'm going to read what they're saying. Let me get this clear, honestly. USA got independent by the help of France, and independent in World War II by the help of the USA. We need America's help. We need your help. This is 90 million Iranians asking the same. Well, I thought that the country of Iran had 92 million approximately, but I'm just telling you, Major is saying that there are millions that support the regime. I'm just saying. 101 million Iranians, including outside. If anyone says, okay, if anyone says no external help, they hate Pahlavi too, regime propaganda. Honestly, gotta say, this is my name. I would not repeat your name. I would only say, call you Sean. If you say that, it sounds like you are saying King of Kings in Persian. I understand. I get it. I get what you're saying, Sean. And I'm not trying to upset anybody here. Okay, they want me to ask you a question, Mage. This is a fellow Iranian. Do you support Pahlavi do you support Pahlavi? The answer is going to be no. You know that. You guys should know that. If they support the Ayatollah, they're not going to support Pahlavi. He wrote it. I'm going to copy it and paste it. This is the response I got. No. The answer is no. To you guys over here. That was the response. That is kind of, I got to say, Sean, that's clever. That is clever how you did that. I gotta give you props on that. And hello to those on TikTok. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not gonna say full names because I'm not gonna blow you up with each other. Oh shit. I don't know if I even want to say that. This could spur shit up. I'm not going to sit here and play instigator, okay? I want to keep it respectful. Because if Sean, who was the one that said that? Ali, I'm not about to piss you off, and I don't want to start this going back and forth between the two of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to be entertained or anyone to be entertained about two people that are Iranian arguing with each other, because you know that happens here in this country over politics. And I can't stand it. I can't stand when two people are attacking each other because I'm a man of the middle. It drives me nuts to see this side going after this side going after this side, back and forth. It's like children in a playground. And it gets worse. It doesn't get better. It makes things worse. Nothing good comes from it. Just hate, anger, it just makes it worse to me. So I don't get caught up in all that. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, you finally made it on time, and I got about 2 hours before I got to go out. Look, my love goes to all of you. Whatever peace you find, I hope you find peace. Really. Seriously. Yes. And Ali says, we love you, whatever. I mean, these are your brothers and sisters too. But I understand it's a lot more deep than that. I mean, like I said, I'm not there. I hear from all of you telling me stuff that's going on in there. I see what's on social media. But again, it is social media. And social media has become such an arm of propaganda for anyone, whatever side. It's just the way it is. Like I said, look at the United States politics. Look how it's used. Social media. And it is, could you imagine? Just imagine. Look at our country, how they speak to each other. Calling each other criminals and this and worse. How's that any different than what's going on over there? They're criminals. Now, I'm not saying there's mass massacres going on or slaughter, but look at the language that happens here, the way they talk to each other and treat each other and laugh and think it's funny. No respect. That's off the table. It's so guttural. It's the lowest I've ever seen. And as long as I live, I've never seen it so bad. And a lot of that has to do with social media. Like, Kevin, you remember the other day somebody said, oh, here goes a 60-year-old guy in the basement of his mom's house. Remember that? And that was kind. In comparison what it could have been. You know what I mean? But that's just the nature of it now. If they don't like what you're saying or disagree with you, you know, they come from the lowest depths and sadistic in nature. They enjoy it. They want to see other people cringe and uncomfortable, and they think it's funny. So, are things really good here in our country? No. Really? Anyway. Yeah, you're united by the three colors of the flag. I hear you. But, you know, the other side is united by the three colors of the flag, too. Yes, exactly. It's all about respect. Respect is important. Communication, listening to other people, you know what I mean? But it's deeper than that because of the pain that many are suffering. And I know that many of you in that chat right now are suffering. Your loved ones back at home. Not knowing. No one. I don't give a shit who they are. No one can relate to what you're all going through. No one. Only all of you that are directly affected. No one else can. Same thing with Mage. Mage is going through whatever his experience is. We don't know what his experience is. We don't know who he is, what his background is, whatever. You know, I'm not here as judge. The only thing we could see, like the reason that I'm doing this is, will the United States, as the president has indicated, help, in his view, the people of Iran and what's going on in Iran? And based on some of the, and what did I say earlier today? What did I say? It's awfully quiet. No one's talking. I'm not hearing any rhetoric. And then, boom, a few hours ago, he started talking on the plane when they were asking him questions. And now it's starting, you know why he's starting to talk? Because the pieces are being placed. Now he's going to start talking because he thinks the assets are nearly completed and almost ready to take action if necessary. Because he's always going to say that. He's not going to say, oh, for sure, I'm going to hit Iran. You know what I mean? I played what the president said earlier. I'm going to check Navi. What's up, Tank? Let me see if this is the same thing from Air Force One. Are you serious? I gotta verify that on Truth Social. If that's true, holy shit. I gotta verify that. Because some people can make that up. I'm not seeing that on Truth Social. But I'm going to check. Before I do it, I'm going to check all his posts. I am not seeing that post. I'm not saying that could be fake. Don't believe everything you see, Navi. That is not, I do not see such a post on True Social. I'm glad I didn't share it on the screen. There is no post by the president. Maybe it was there and he took it down, but I don't think so. No, I'm not seeing that. Somebody put that up. Yeah, that Ali, that Navi, there's nothing on True Social that indicates that. Somebody made that up. And then they put his stuff on there. You gotta remember, we live in the age of AI. You have to be careful with everything. Don't get caught up. Try to, and believe me, I'm just as guilty. Sepp was here, said, Bill, don't trust anything from that individual. And Sepp was right. That was the one thing I put this week that was a mistake. And I should have dug deeper before I did. About the people that were executed. But there was no evidence anywhere that that had occurred. And Sepp right away flagged me and said, Bill, that person's not credible. And he was right. So even I got to be very careful. Let me see. Everyone has to have a knowledge and information. Whatever your information knowledge, be more a revelation and support and successful. But remember, like I said, the propaganda machine is full throttle right now. And a lot of people do shit for clickbait, for attention. You have to be very careful. There's a lot of fake misinformation out there. Won't Trump give time for regime to run away like Maduro? Yes, I think there's going to be a last-ditch effort of communication, more like an ultimatum to the regime from the president, or, I would say probably directly from the president, or maybe Rubio or somebody up on the high end. And these are your conditions. If you don't agree to these conditions, then you're going to have the other alternative. I think they will behind the scenes have one, and I know Kevin isn't liking what I'm saying, but I think there will be, like Tusi said, I agree with Tusi, there will be last-ditch effort of communication, but not in the diplomatic sense that we think about diplomacy, more like an ultimatum of conditions that they must agree to. That's what I think. Similar to Maduro. And Maduro didn't budge. I'm just saying. Marcin says, AI is wreaking havoc on a lot of things. Just wanted to ask if you were able to see the aurora a couple nights ago. Not here because it was cloudy. Sadly. But, and I will get back to all that stuff, but just with everything that's going on, and believe me, I've been getting complaints about that. I thought you do Skywatches. It's a Skywatcher thing. Yeah, I do. But this is concerning our country and things going on globally. This is like a serious situation going on right now. So this, to me, is a priority to discuss it and put information out there as it happens. And Sepp, I don't know if you're still here, but I would love for you to join me on Teams in the next few days if the shit hits the fan. I want you to come on with me. I want you as an Iranian to be represented with me on. I don't know if he's still here. He said he would. Some politicians use politics to create separation of the people for what? Power. Remember, exactly, Tank. Abso-freaking-lutely. United we stand, divided we fall. And as long as they have us divided, it's a power structure. Absolutely. Correct. Totally. Regardless of what side you're on, that is definite. If Iran were freed and let's say becomes a democratic republic, do you think they'd eventually become corrupt after Pahlavi? If you think about it, in all walks of life, and I'm talking, you look around, there's some form of corruption somewhere or another. It's just, as horrible as that sounds, it's not like anything is free of corruption. It's like, it's as simple as this. If someone's down and out and you offer them enough money, they may take the money. They're corruptible. Power. You promise them power. They're corruptible. They can be manipulated. Greed, power, money. So anything can, really, that's why, like in our government in the United States, they need to get rid of lobbyists and they need to get rid of corporations funding and supporting people that are politicians because they're in the pockets and they're the arm of whatever they're dealing with. And that's on both sides. They need to remove that because they're being bought, pretty much. Is that corruption? Not necessarily. It's not illegal. But to me, it is a form somewhat of corruption. They're corrupting them by buying them. Do you follow me? So you could look at things in so many ways. Corruption to me exists everywhere I look. It's something could be corrupt. No? If Iran, okay, I read that. Autocratic to be specific. Well, when you think of an do you think Pahlavi is going to be an autocrat? Is that what you're thinking? I think it's going to be more built on the system of the UK, where you still have that symbolic monarchy at some point, but you have an elected parliament by the people, for the people. I think a lot of people think he's just going to walk in and become some type of a dictator, autocrat, and be the ruler amongst all. If you look at the plan, that's not what the plan says. Now, is the plan, you might contradict and say, well, the plan is a lie. Well, it's not a lie until it's proven to be a lie. I mean, you could be a pessimistic, skeptical person, debunker. I deal with this in the work I do with the UFO stuff. There are people out there that no matter what you present to them, they'll still never believe it. Same thing. It's the same thing. Some people you can never convince. No matter how much evidence or information, data, statistics, they're in denial or whatever reason, they just don't want to admit it. And that's okay. So, that's part of it. I'm looking to find this document. Here. And Sepp was the one, yes, dissolve Google. And I'm going to get to more of your stuff, but look, if people don't realize, this is the plan. This is the plan. This is the plan. And if you read the plan, it's well done. The transitional phase. It breaks it down. and the elections and bringing back the judicial, people having representation of lawyers, to not being that the government is the judge, jury, trial, nothing. I mean, this is many pages. But so when people think that there's not a plan in place, there is a plan in place. And it gets into after the fall, and then how the people will vote. What was that? Enacting temporary laws. Now people say, okay, I see this, enacting temporary laws. How temporary are those laws going to be there? People are going to say, oh, bullshit, they're saying that, but it's going to be made permanent. You can only imagine how this will get flipped, depending on the person that's looking at it. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Deciding the total number of seats in the Constituent Assembly and eligibility requirements for candidates, such as minimum age, educational qualifications, who will be elected through an election that meets international democratic standards discussed below, paragraph 12.8. No fewer than 70, no more than 310. And it goes into it more in depth about the elections, restoring the independence of the Iranian Bar Association for legal aid for people. I mean, it really gets into it. And I would suggest before you reach conclusions, you should read the plan. You should really read the plan before you make an opinion, and read this plan thoroughly, and then reach your conclusion. And even after reading it, you may not change your mind, but you should at least read it and see what they're saying here. And having the vote of the people. Now look at this. This is curious. Charting the path for the elected government. The transitional government shall act according to one of the following scenarios, depending on the system of government chosen by the nation. So they're going to leave it up to the people to decide which way they want to move forward. Period. It will be decided by the people. Now you hear everything that goes on in this country. Rigged elections, all that stuff. You know there's going to be people that are not going to trust the election results, no matter what they are. But that's part of the process. You know that. So I would suggest you read this thoroughly before reaching any conclusion. And then, if it does happen, and you look at the plan, you say, okay, they lied, this is... You know what I mean? So before, we could speculate, reach an opinion, it's going to be an autocratic monarchy. I don't think the people of Iran want that. They want a republic, a secular government, inclusive with everyone. And the people get to decide. See, Rez is the person that's going to be the one that helps the transition. Now, what his future role is, at some point, that's up to the people to decide. Where it's symbolic, he's the monarch, he's part of the royal family. Who do you think? You think King Charles runs the country? Who makes the decisions? The Parliament? It's more symbolic than anything else. And again, that's the great thing. We all have our opinions, and that's great. I would say, my God, give it a chance. If you're one of those people that support the removal of the regime. Because, like I said earlier, there was somebody here that does not agree with that. Just to be fair. Yeah, that's typical to New York. I'm seeing what I'm catching up now. The AI business not only affecting prices around, but driving device manufacturers to abandon consumer hardware for AI data center companies, but as you said, giving propagandists a much easier time manufacturing information to create endless traps. I don't have my reading glasses on. I think it says eddies and currents in the flow of information. Do enough people care to give up their jobs and trade cushy Netflix and NFL sports action for picketing in the streets and crowding the persons who corrupt these companies? And Mage says you have no idea. So again, I am not saying I have my idea. I'm not specifically speaking about my specific idea. I'm just reaching an opinion based on what other people would view this as. Because I'm seeing it from the chat, Mage. I'm just showing on the screen the plan because I guarantee a lot of people aren't even aware that such a plan even exists. And this is coming from Pahlavi's team. That's all. I'm just sharing the information of the plan because a lot of people may not even be aware that such a plan exists. Now, what time is it? It's already, what is it? Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's 4:42 a.m. in Iran right now.
So it's in the early morning hours. Hold on, doing TikTok. I'm definitely not playing my music because Mage will freak out. You know something? Mage, don't get upset. Don't get upset at me. But, you know, I would not mind. I want to go to that castle that Sepp showed me. I would love to go to that castle as a tourist with all the steps. I don't know if it's near Tehran. I love going to places like that. I would love to go there and see the culture, the amazing, ancient, one of the oldest, incredible cultures of this planet. Period. If you think about history, Syria or Assyria, I think of Sumer. I think of Dilmun. You know, people think because it all cuneiform, it comes from, but if you look at the Sumerians and the Dilmun, the Great Flood, everything, that area, the history, the ancient, amazing art, literature, music, the culture, it's incredible. And regardless, I would love to experience that for myself. I would respect, absolutely, as a person, a foreigner, to respect everything of that land. I would love to experience it. And, you know, I've thought about going to other places, like dream places. Like, believe it or not, there's one place I was invited to, but he's in the Philippines, and I keep forgetting to call him. I was going to go to Vienna, Austria for some event, exhibit. But it didn't happen because he got stuck in the Philippines doing an excavation. But I always wanted to go to Giza to see the pyramids myself, up close. That has to be an incredible experience. But Iran has such amazing ancient sites. My gosh. Yeah, I would respect I have to respect. It would be dishonor not to respect the culture and their ways. I mean, there are idiots out there. I mean, if alcohol is prohibited, I respect it. It's not going to be easy for me. But then again, it's not like I drink all the time. But I would respect that. I would respect the traditions and rules and laws of that nation. I'm not going to be some, American that acts like a wild person and acts like a complete fool. I'm not just representing myself. I feel like I'm representing my country in an honorable way. You know what I mean? That's the way I would look at it. I was invited, and I may go yet, and this doesn't happen often. I was asked to go eventually to experience an indigenous Native American reservation. That shit does not happen. And I was invited by a medicine man. You think I'm going to go in there and not respect the culture? No cameras allowed, no recordings on ceremonies and all that, even though I would love to. Because I think it's important for the world to see the culture and understand the culture. Because I think a lot of it is ignorance, not knowing, the unknown. I think if people truly understand each other's cultures, there would be more respect and understanding. You know what I mean? My point was, what if post-Pahlavi Iran doesn't lose democracy by force, but by voting? And you know what? That's an excellent question. But I don't know what goes on the ground in Iran, so I don't know how many different factions of groups there are. That's a question that the people of Iran know. Would they vote? Do you think they would vote for that? I don't know. I'm not there. I cannot speak on that. I honestly cannot answer that question. That's up to the people of Iran to decide. Really, it would be foolish for me to try to answer that question because I don't know. But again, it's up for the people to decide if that were to happen. And I know Mage doesn't want to hear that, but it's I know it's prohibited. I know it is. That's why I mentioned the alcohol. I know it's prohibited, and I would respect that. Definitely, it's okay. Like, I could just tell you a true story. Marijuana is legal in New York. That doesn't mean the person in this house wants it done in my house. It's not, she ain't with it. Even though it might be legal, she doesn't still like it, and she doesn't want it in the house. Rules are rules. You may not like them, but those are the rules. And in your case, it's the law. So I get it. You can bring cameras everywhere in Iran. I really want to go to that place that Seb showed me. Like some dude lies about promises and ruins everything. Who said that? Fan 23. You can make that assumption, but you only will know if and when that happens. It's hard to, you can't predict what the future brings. You cross that bridge when you get to that proverbial bridge. You just don't know. It's the unknown. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You just don't know. Don't worry about that. People already met such people in current regime. They know them by just looking at them. Oh my God. Yeah, but you're not in Iran. He says Iranians drink alcohol more than the West. I don't think so. I don't know about that. I do not know about that one. I mean, talk to the Germans about that one. I mean, they got their Oktoberfest. I mean, Jägermeister every day. Hefeweizen beer, which is the wheat-based beer. These people, I know because my best friend is German. I grew up with him. Oh my gosh. The Germans can drink. So I don't know about that. I'm not, no disrespect, Mage. I'm just saying, no disrespect with the drinkers here. Mage is probably saying, that's why you're all nuts, because you're all a bunch of drunks. Oh my God. I mean, we have Arak Saki. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, guys. If I come to Iran, I'm not doing nothing illegal that's going to get me in trouble. I'm telling you that right now. Don't try to bring me somewhere underground and trying to do some sly shit on the side and... Oh, my God. Maybe when we're on the plane, I might consume quite a bit before I land. Would that be a problem? I didn't drink in the country. I drank on the plane. Oh my gosh. I'm just, messing around. You see, that's our difference. He swears at us while we try to talk. That's how regime speaks. They sell it in U.S. too. Really? They sell it in the U.S.? Wait a minute. I gotta look this up now. Now you got my curiosity. What the hell are you guys talking about? Oh, the liquor store's closed. I would do it too. Just to try what the heck you guys are talking about. Is this true? What is it? I gotta go to my distributor. Hold on. I gotta look this up now because now you guys got me curious. This is getting way off the topic, isn't it? See, Mage, they're influencing me. They say there's an Iranian liquor. Have you ever heard of it, Mage? Arak Saki? Is that... I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm a New Yorker. Blame me. Mid-Valley. That's the one. We got to go to their website. Let's see if they have this. Search. This place has everything. If anybody has it, it would be this place. It's huge. Zero results. What's that? Fabricat in Lebanon? What is that? Or is that an L? Oh my God, I can't read that. What is it? It is Fabricat. What is that? I'm gonna have to Google this other one. Iraq. I see it. Oh, it's Sagi. Arag Sagi. It's moonshine, guys. Oh my God. We have moonshine in this country. That's not legal. It's Arag Sagi. I spelt it wrong. It closes in 35 minutes. They're not going to have that here. It's moonshine. What the hell was that noise outside just now? No results. So this is what I'm seeing. Oh, but there is others. Hold on. But it's Iraq. There's a lot that says Iraq. What is Iraq? There's a lot of different things here with the word Iraq in it. And there's a Lebanese thing. What is this? It's not working. There's a Lebanese. Oh God, somebody's putting up a picture. Okay, so what the heck is this? Explain to me what this bottle says. What does this say? What is that? Oh, that means it's like alcohol. What is that? That's what came up, something like that. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh, this one. Sagi. And there's only a little picture of it. It's like Iranian vodka. Oh. So that's it? Sagi? Is that it? Try Iraq. Smell and taste like... Oh my God, now... Both of you guys are... Try Iraq. Let me try it in my liquor store. I'm trying it... oh my God. Could you imagine me drinking some Iraq? Not Iraq. Iraq. All right, let me try this again. You guys got me... I know we're going way off here, but, you know, we're having a little fun with this. Because I am curious. Let's see if they have Iraq. Where's the website? I mean, wouldn't they... You would think they do, right? A-R-A-K. They do. They have this. And it ships to here. It's $32.79. Do they have it in stock? It comes from Lebanon. This is what my liquor store is saying right here. That. Messiah, Iraq. Country, Lebanon. I mean, that's probably the closest I'm going to be able to get. Aniseed flavor. Is that it? I know there's a delay. What is that? Is that kind of close? You guys, I need help. It comes from Lebanon, though. That's Lebanese drink. I know, I saw that. It says Lebanon. But that's what Mage told me to put in. Customers viewing this page almost... What the heck is all this stuff? That's China. I wouldn't know. I would have to find... I don't know. I honestly don't know. Persian liquor is Iraq Sagi. Okay, I got you. This is going to take some homework. I don't think I'll be able to order it on Amazon. Could you imagine? It's available on Amazon. Does Amazon sell liquor? Iraq Sagi. No, I didn't think so. Nope. All right. But remember, guys, alcohol right now is prohibited in Iran. You know, you could always come to Bill's house. That's another way. Oh, could you imagine? Yes, you can. Yeah, maybe from Canada. I don't know. With the tariffs, it might cost $100 a bottle. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Iraq is general alcohol for all Islamic world from Afghanistan to Morocco, if I'm correct. Yes, it's prohibited. You guys are going to be a bad influence. Could you imagine all of us hanging out in Tehran? Could you imagine? I'm going to be in trouble. I'm sure you can find it. And Mage, I'm glad. I know, you have your opinions and I respect it. I'm glad that you're hanging in there. I'm just glad you're not in the other chat with the other guys. It would not end up well. Oh my God. Thank God that's not happening right now. Oh, you are? You're in the US? Oh no, you're saying you can find it in the US. I got you. You're in Iran. My bad. I made that mistake. I got that mixed up. Because we have Sean, Ali. Now, I don't know if Navi's still here. I don't know if Sep is still here. There's at least 4 Iranian friends in the other chat. You guys are not getting me in trouble and you're not going to start any shit here. You know? It's crazy, man. You know what just drives me nuts? Because I guarantee that we have so much or more in common than not. And why can't we just freaking build on what we have in common and respect what we don't have in common? You know what I mean? Why are things so fucking difficult? You know? Why? Why does it have to be the way it is? You know what I'm saying? Why? Politics, religion, like color of one's skin, how someone speaks, how they dress. People judge. Why can't it be just simple things? The sharing in the things that we enjoy together. Music, food, alcohol. I don't want to say that too loud. You know? To me, it's a tragedy in everything. Because, when you look at it in general, we're still such a violent species. When are we going to get over that? Seriously. You know what I mean? When are we going to take that next step? I mean, I know that's kind of being in some other fantasy land, what I'm saying. I know that. I get it. But my gosh. Do you know something in my house? And I know this might upset anybody. I don't care who walks through my door. All are welcomed here. As long as they're respectful. And they respect the house. And the people in the house. That's all. I don't care. You know? I don't think it's that difficult, right? Trust me, I've had people here who are Republican and Democrat at the same time, and there are conversations, and they keep it civil. Because I say, no matter what, if you guys bring this stuff up, because I don't like it I walk away. Sometimes I do talk. But my gosh, just keep it respectful. And that's hard. Trust me, it's hard. you know, it's not an easy thing. All right, I'm reading now. It is true, Mage. Respect is the secret. It really comes down to respect. I always say that. And I've written songs like that about respect. Internet. All right, hold on. They got a question for you, Ali, Mage. I get you. I understand your point, Mage. There's a question. This is a question for you now, coming from the other chat, Mage. It's Ali wants to know. Internet is off in Iran. If you're from Iran, then you must be from the regime, because normal people have no access. So they're questioning, how are you able to be here if there's no internet in Iran? That's basically the question. I rephrased it. And I'll give you time to answer that. And Sean says, because we are human, even if we let aside all differences. I agree about building bridges. I'm not a person that destroys bridges. I hate that. Even with people that I work with, I try to keep it where the bridges still exist. Definite. But Sean says, because we are human, even if we let aside all differences and become one, still countries would fight over space, minerals, rare earth. Imagine fighting on Earth for space minerals, not in that time yet. Oh, I worry about that too. Us going outward. This territory is mine. Flags are going to be put on the surface of the moon. This is our territory. Other countries are going to do the same thing. Then they're going to race to asteroids to try to mine the asteroids or mine the moon for rare earth. You know, China's looking at that. Helium-3. Oh, heck yes. Absolutely. What's to stop us from doing the shit that we do on Earth out there right now under the current conditions? We're going to do the same shit out there. We're not changing. There's got to be a change sometime, somewhere. He's in Lebanon. He's Iranian, but he's in Lebanon. He's in Baalbek, Lebanon. Baalbek, Lebanon. That's why. What's up, Bob? Alvaro's gonna start with. He's gonna get into the Bob Lazar area now. I see what you're doing, Alvaro. So he's not in Iran. He's in Lebanon. Not many. It's very little amount of people. So he's not in Iran. He's in Lebanon. I was reading Iran Prosperity Program, and I found nothing that has any intent to help the different ethnic group in Iran. That's going to be a huge topic after the regime falls. It's a wonderful place. See, and I ain't going to lie, I'm getting older. I got to do these things before I get, like, old. When I can't do it anymore. I still have, I'm not there yet. I'm not 60, I'm 50s, but there's got to come a time. It's going to have to come sooner rather than later if I'm going to make these kind of trips. Just being honest. Iranian and Lebanon. Oh, you guys are hard. Come on. This is a rough crowd tonight. It really is. It's a rough crowd. Okay. Just to get back on a more serious note. I want, before I even open up my big mouth, because I'm going to get in trouble. If it was done respectfully, must be respectfully, what about this idea? And I don't think it's going to fly, but I'm just going to throw it out there. What if we had someone on with me that is for change in Iran and someone that supports the Islamic Republic? Is that even possible? Do you think that's a smart idea? Do you think that you guys could conduct yourselves in a respectful way and talk about your points? I don't know if that's possible. That's like getting a Republican and Democrat together here and having a civil conversation. Because it ends up getting really bad quick. The person's in another chat, and I'm not going to mention where. But I'm communicating with Mage, who's in Lebanon and supports the Islamic Republic. And he's been very respectful to me. And I'm showing that same respect back, just to be fair. And he is Iranian. He's saying that Baalbek, Lebanon is a beautiful place. Check on Google. Why not? Why don't we? I want to see where he's at. Well, not exactly where he's at, but I want to see. But do you guys think that's even something possible to have a conversation for those that are pro or anti on the same call? Because I don't want to cause problems for anyone. You know what I mean? I'm a peacemaker. I'm not a person who likes to stir the nest. I'm just wondering if that's even a possibility that could happen. That's all. And I wouldn't want to throw any of my friends under the bus like that either. I have too much respect for everyone, including Mage. I don't want to put the person in a bad spot like that. All right, I'm going to check it out. Oh, it's a city, that's for sure. I don't think Google Earth is going to help, like going down here. So this is where he's at. I don't think, oh, this will work. I want to see. No, I don't think that's going to work either. It's not. There's no Google Earth there. I didn't think so. So this is Baalbek, or however you say it. It looks nice, actually. It looks like a nice residential area, to be honest. This looks like something I would see in New Mexico or in a climate like that here in the States, to be honest. Is that a mosque? Looks like one. So that's where Mage is at, in Lebanon. Wow, look at that. This is in the middle of all that. There's mountains. So it's in a valley. It's definitely in a valley. Am I correct, Mage? It looks like you're in a valley. You've got mountains on two sides. Mountain ranges. And you're not far from the Mediterranean. Okay. Oh, you're not far from Lebanon. Interesting. It does look nice, right, guys? Okay, so I'm reading on. What's up, Blockchain Metal? Sean says, if he's showing respect, then that itself needs a respect. Yes. Ali, I get it. I get it. That's why I'm just throwing it out there, Ali. I know. I was just curious on the response. I get it. Okay, so Sep has a question. Well, my question for this gentleman is, If he's such a huge supporter of the current regime, why did he choose Lebanon as his place of residence? The hypocrisy of living in a country with Western values. So, Mage, they want to know. I mean, maybe it's work related. We don't know. Mage, they want to know if that's the case, why are you in Lebanon and not in Iran? They didn't even let a 5-year-old child get away. Now do you support that person? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, is it even possible for a conversation between people on opposing sides? I'm not saying that. All right, it's time for prayer. Mage, you have blessings to you. And, I wish you no ill will. And blessings to you and your family. I was just curious on the response, if that's an even possible thing. That's why I asked. Fan23 says, honestly, I prefer a monarch that can dissolute the parliament to protect democracy, like a semi-constitutional monarchy. Of course, Lebanon is great because millions of dollars were sent by Iran to keep it strong and pay for their military. Why does my Iranian oil have to be spent on Sunni Islam country? Fix us first. Good night. Good night, Mage. Mage is gone now. And when it comes to the topic of asking why they disappear, the classic dodge, support is not equal to respect. You are showing respect. Every person should be respectful enough to hold an opinion, but to respect that opinion is another topic. I get it. Now, Sep, this is for you. And you know we're connected. We're connected on Teams. Hello, Connie. If the shit hits the fan this weekend and you're around, you know I'm going to be on. Would you like to join me on Teams live so people can hear you? Are you okay with that? I think it would be great to have you on. And actually, this could go out to Ali, whoever's comfortable. You get to talk to Sep and me. If you guys think you're comfortable enough to come on, we'll find a way. You got to get Teams, though. And we'll find a way to communicate with each other privately somehow, so it's not put in a public place, so that we can all get together and speak, if that's something you guys would like to do. Oh my God. Ali, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I did not mean to sound insensitive. That was not... I am sorry. That was not what my intention was. Okay, so Sep has agreed to come on. I am very sorry, Ali. You guys are gonna make me like fucking cry while I'm live streaming, you know. Because my mother's still here, but I've suffered through pain. My brother suffered from mental illness, and I know what it's like to lose somebody close to you. He actually, I'm on TikTok, so I gotta be careful. You know, it didn't end up well. From a building. 6 stories and survived and lived as a quadriplegic vegetable for 4.5 years. That was tough. And I was praying. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying live. I was praying that please God, take him. Take him. Don't let him suffer like this anymore. He was 29 years old. So I know how hard it is when you lose someone you love so much. And I don't wish that on my enemy. And I can't even imagine your pain. But I know the pain of losing someone you love. And you feel so helpless. Because there was nothing I can do. I tried so hard to help my brother through his sickness, and you know, I wasn't even home when it happened. I came driving up to my building where I lived, apartment building, and I see fire trucks and everything, and my neighbor comes running. Your brother just... Did you know what that was like? I cringe just thinking about it. So I pray for you and your family, because it's never easy. But I dream. I see him in my dreams. It's hard to me to look at pictures. I imagine what he would be like now with me here, if he was still here. Oh my God. So I get it. Yeah, don't share any personal information. Whatever you do, do not share any personal information, because you never know who's watching. And in chat, we don't know. You have to be very careful. Yes, grief and pain is a universal thing. I agree with everything you guys are saying. Raising awareness for men's mental health and fighting for freedom is our case. In our case, the Iranians, we share a common good goal. I can't say the same for the other side. Like I said, I saw something. I don't know, you guys might have to read this. I need to regain my composure for a second. What's going on? I'm live and I'm just like emotional.
Vice president of programming.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Bishop, I had a conversation with him. He mentioned that because he's on a Mac, when they do these updates, it kicks him out of the system.
Yeah, you may have to give him the code. Uh-huh.
Well, that goes back to Margie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just had a call with her. I said, listen, you need to go inside the StreamYard account information, and you need to put my phone number in there or Bill's.
Yeah, so we can grab it.
Yeah, that's our department.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to be worried about that.
No, I totally agree with you. This way he can go directly to us.
Yeah, so if I'm not at my terminal, you are. You know what I mean? Like this way it usually is. We don't go far from, our connection to
No.
the
We're always at our station.
we're always plugged in. We're like Matrix, man. We're in our own little swimming pool. But yeah, like, if he goes down and needs back in, and I'm not there to do it, I can send you the code, or you can send me the code, or however she does it. It doesn't matter to me.
And by the way, Race, they can hear you. I've known this man for over a decade. We've worked together in the past, and we're working...
15 years.
Yes, and we're working again together. And I mentioned, because my Iranian friends are listening and watching right now, and I mentioned to him about the possibility of going to Iran. Well, if that happens, guess what we're doing? We're going to stream directly to our network, live or recorded, coming back to the States and putting it out on our network so everyone can see what's going on in Iran when the time comes. And he said, absolutely. Right, Race?
Absolutely. I think that would be one of the most pivotal moments in world history. When Donald Trump goes over there and kicks that bearded bastard in the lip, and brings freedom back to the wonderful Persian people. It's something that's on its way.
Yeah, we're definitely in agreement with that, and I think it's gonna come sooner rather than later, dude. I really do.
See, I was, 8-9 years old when the Shah was ran out of Iran.
Yep.
And I remember the hostages.
I remember that too. I was about the same age. Yep.
Yeah, I remember it. You know what I mean? I remember gas lines over here in the United States.
The lines, yeah. Remember that? In the car, waiting and watching the hostages blindfolded, all that. Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, and that was under
Carter.
leadership. But I do remember Ronald Reagan saying, if those hostages aren't released by the time I take the oath of office, I'm going to make Iran a glass bowl memorial for 55 hostages or something. I mean, and by the time he took the oath, they were free. But you know what? It never did sit well. I've got you because I got to go in it. But I mean, like, I never sat well with me that we didn't go over there and slap the beard then and restore the Shah then.
Right. But remember what we did.
It was a holy movement, you know what I mean? And they had the momentum, man. So.
But you know what we did?
But now those Persians that are fighting for freedom have the momentum. And you want to know something? All of those that were born after that time period that don't remember, don't know what it was like back then. Iran was awesome, man.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I just want to say that what a world it's going to be when they get to experience really true freedom and true security in their lives and raise their children the same way in the next generation.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Because the American government can be messed up, just like any government. You have bad leaders, you have good leaders. And right now, we just happen to have one who knows how to handle business and wants to restore strength and peace and prosperity. He wants people around the world to be able to thrive.
Yep.
There's enough money and there's enough resources for all of us. We don't need to be bickering about stupid shit. Let's go make money and go get on the beach and have drinks with funny little umbrellas in them and watch our kids play in the sand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Together.
yes, all of us together. You know, the word racism, the word bigotry, those words will just fade into history.
Yeah.
Because we're all one people. We all bleed the same blood. And we all need to save as many souls as we can.
Yep, I agree.
Before something way bigger and way stronger and way greater comes to change things like it did on the dinosaurs. You know?
My friend says, tell him I love him and his enthusiasm and wish him and his family much prosperity and love. That's what they're saying to you.
Absolutely the same back to them. Listen, let me let you
Go.
get back to your stream, my brother. I love you.
Love you. Call me tomorrow. Are we gonna
start stacking some wood in that house, man? That snow's coming.
2 feet maybe, dude?
Yeah.
Are we having
We were looking at a foot of snow, but now the Euro model was right. It's going to shift farther north, and we're going to get the ice.
Let me ask you a question. Are we having a meeting tomorrow, or is Margie still sick?
Maybe me and you can get together and we can do some production.
I think we need to. I do.
Yeah, and just for however long you want to do it, I'm fine with it.
I'll call you after I drop off, like at 2:30 in the afternoon my time, so 1:30 your time.
Hey, sounds good.
All right. Love you.
I love you back, bro.
All righty. Bye.
Good night.
What's up, Dusty? So yes, we would, I would, or we would, whoever I'm with, if it were to happen, we need to show the world the truth. What's real, because I don't know if the media would do it. We need to do some on the ground recording, because I doubt if we could do it live. Depends on the signal. I have the equipment now. I'm a little worried about carrying all my expensive equipment with me. Like this bad boy over here. This is the, oh guys, I have the equipment to do professional. I work for a station. And I've been doing it for over a decade. This is my favorite camera here. Dusty knows all about this. It's on a motor mount because I use this for sky watching. This is a Sony a7S III. See it? This is a badass camera. I have a 256 gig card in there. This is a nice piece of equipment. And the great thing is, I have this, the Shure wireless mics right here that go to this with a receiver, and this is badass. This is like $500 in this little pouch. Forget about this. I have the equipment to do it professionally. And this audio will make it even better. Because this is the Shure Move mic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Shure mics, the wireless lapels. These are absolutely amazing. All I need is my camera, and what I do is... Tycho, no, don't come near me while I'm with this. You see this? This is for a dummy battery. Well, I plug this into a power bank, which can run this camera for 24 hours. So I would be wearing a backpack, and the power bank would be back there, and I would definitely have either the tripod on the camera where we could sit and speak about with the background, the scenery, or I can actually, because the stabilization on these cameras are amazing, I could follow somebody with the mic as they're walking. Say, I'm just going to use Sepp as an example. Say Sepp is with me. I would film Sepp talking about where we're at, what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And then it would be like an edit process, like film whatever we're allowed to film, like people dancing and having festivals and showing the world what's really going on. So that would be amazing. And I have all the toys to go live. I mean, this is something I do professionally for a living. You guys don't know that side, but that's what I do. For the station, this station, another station I just left, which was sad. Unfortunate, but it had to happen. It was so sad. But it is, that's part of life. Oh. So you can bet I would love to do something like that. All right, let me go. Shout out to the late and great Art Bell. Oh gosh, yeah, I grew up listening to Art. Cosmic Concerns. And my prayers go out to Clyde Lewis. That man is going through a lot right now. I mean, I'm close friends with, like he is. He knows. We are friends with a lot of people in the UFO community. Like, see that picture back there? With Georgie O'Hare, me, Mr. Henry, Nick Pope, who's a good friend. Oh my God, what's his name on the picture too? But even like the picture behind me, it's signed, you know, Lee Spiegel, the late Lee Spiegel, who was a friend, personal friend. Richard Dolan signed that. Mark signed it. I've got stuff all over the place. I mean, whatever you thought of Eric Von Daniken, he passed away, what was it, last week? I can show you all kinds of stuff. Like right there is a Conjuring poster signed by Annie Perrin. On that right there, you know how many people signed that? Oh my God. So many people signed that for me. A lot of experience. Travis Walton. Here's here. He stayed over my house. We had a great time. Here's a picture of Travis, myself, and someone else in front of my house. I mean, I've got so much stuff. I mean, it broke on me. This broke. Travis did a few of these for me. Travis calls me his assistant. That's his nickname for me. He calls me, Bill's my assistant. We've had a lot of good times together, Travis and I, privately, hanging out together. But this is a poster from Fire in the Sky. This one says, Bill, take my advice. He writes this generically. Stay in the truck. But there's one day when he stayed over, he signed. I've got a bunch from him. Oh my God. Like this one. This is when he stayed over, when Travis stayed over my house. This one. And it says, Bill, thanks for the hospitality, Travis Walton. That's more personal. He had stayed over my house because he was speaking at Pine Bush. So that's the other side. That's the other stuff, the other side of stuff, which right now the focus has been on Iran, but that's my other side. As you can see behind me with the alien and all that stuff. Guys, I don't even want to start. I love the UFO community, but I hate the pseudo-archaeology people like Graham Hancock. There are a lot of people. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to sit here and go names because I don't like getting caught up in all that drama and gossip and all that stuff. Maybe you can also get some ground reports on those stuff in Iran. A lot. Yes. Oh my God, I would love to do that part. The UFO part in Iran. Oh my God. That would be amazing. That would really make that's like a work vacation. That makes it even more like and aliens. Oh wow, you got an OG in the community giving me chills. You just popped up on my feed. I 100% believe Travis Walton. I can call somebody right now. He's a character. He's a good friend. And we have our ups and downs like brothers. Tom Reed, UFO Monument Park in Massachusetts. I can get on that phone and call like Linda Moulton Howe. I haven't talked to her in a while. I wonder how she's doing. Let me try. I haven't called her in a long time. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wonder how she's doing. I love Linda. And I know there's people that think she's woo-woo, ever. I don't care about all that shit. I love the person for who they are. I'm not judging them. She's a beautiful person. I should call her private line. This is her private line. Linda.
Hello.
It is Bill.
Yes.
It's Bill from. Well, I used to be part of KGRA. How are you? I love you. I miss you. I just wanted to see how you're doing.
Well, I guess like everybody, feeling a little anxiety about this big snowstorm.
Oh God.
That's going to, it's really. They just did a weather report, and it sounded like the end of the world was coming.
Are you in Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. We're at the south end of all of the. It'll come from the east, Pennsylvania, and swirl down to the south.
So you're gonna get snow where you are? No.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're predicting we could have as much as a foot.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're making it sound like it's the end of the world. Well, what's up with you where you are?
Oh my God. We're expecting maybe 2 feet of snow. I just, because you know how much I care for you and love you and I miss you, and I just wanted to see how you were doing because it's been a while since we spoke.
Well, I have no complaint. I have too much work.
Oh, as always.
I get an average of 40 phone calls a day. I can only answer what I think I need to. It really is excessive. And that is a comment on the time that we are in, and
Yes.
things are getting ready, I believe. No matter what you think or I think about Mr. T, I know that in his first round as a president, I know this for a fact from somebody who was there, he had a full briefing on UFOs and ETs.
I'm hearing
First,
things that he might come out in July with some announcement. Have you heard anything about this?
yes, or before. One more thing that's important to consider. Greenland, for as long as I've been trying to get to the bottom of everything in UFOs and ETs and mutilations, I can remember talking with people who had a global perspective on the fact that extraterrestrials have bases that are below the basins and the bottoms of the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific, below.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the water. They are below. The water is the insulation, is the cover all over. And below are where there are ET bases. It's been like this for a long time. And Greenland is supposed to be this is not something I'm telling you that I only heard about here. This goes back having to do with these other discussions about extraterrestrials having gigantic undersea bases on Earth, that Greenland is one of the land masses surrounded by water, that if you went down and down and down in the soil and rock part, you will come to a base. Now, if any and all of that is true, and if Trump was given a really full briefing, as I understand he was, and he's been a very good actor since, then all of this stuff about Greenland may have to do with competitions for alliances with certain ETs.
Wow, that's just intense just thinking about that aspect.
That's right. There is so much. Oh my God. So anyway, have you continued doing the radio?
Yeah, it's
in this year to next year to 2030, there's been a lot of predictions about this very time, and who knows? But at least you guys have some education. You can
Yes.
stay up with what's happening.
You know me. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. While I got you, and this is way off topic, and I know that you're crazy busy with Ancient Aliens and everything else. You probably got your hand in the cookie jar. Keep me in mind in June if you're open to come to Pine Bush. That office still stands to speak.
I'll tell you, I get every month of my life, I get invitations
I know you
to
do.
travel someplace to speak, and I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out that right now, for example, Ancient Aliens wants me in Los Angeles. A couple because I wouldn't be able to do all of the travel, all
No,
the
I know.
juxtapositions.
I know.
And so it's very, very difficult. And I guess I give my first handshake to David Silver at Ancient Aliens. I've known
Of course.
him the longest. I think he's terrific. And I still think they're doing good work for a general population.
Well, let me tell you what happened quick. I don't want to keep you. So Nick Pope spoke at Pine Bush last year, and Nick and I really hit it off. So, after you know me, I pick everybody up, I take care of them, and all that stuff. So, what happens is he had two tickets for me, VIP, for the Ancient Aliens live tour. And I got to meet Giorgio and Mr. Henry and all the other, the other guy that was on. I can't remember his last name right now. But that was so cool that Nick Pope did that for me. And Nick, I don't know if you know him like that, but Nick is a really cool, genuine human being.
Oh, I've known Nick Pope for at least 30 years.
Yeah. He's such a nice man, like humble, such a down-to-earth person. I was like, wow.
I've always liked Nick. I just worry he drinks too much.
Well, I lost 70 pounds since you've seen me, so I kind of like cut down on a lot of stuff too. But always keep me in mind. Staying, like, if anything comes up, if you need my help for anything, you know how when I helped you in the city, that was awesome.
Yes. You have always been not only thorough but kind. And I appreciate that a lot. Can you send an email to me, earthfiles?
Yes, I got it. Yep. You want me to for June?
With your full mailing address, phone numbers, and email, so I can print it out and keep it at my phone desk.
Okay. Well, you have my contact. Did it come up as Bill on just now when I called or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is my cell.
No, this new cell phone, it only comes up with a number that is scrolling right to left.
I'll email you so you know all my info, emails, and this way we stay in touch, because if you ever need, I know you got you're still doing Earth Files on YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you ever need, to come on a show that you want to, talk about something so it gets out there other than Earth Files, of course, but if you need to come on a show for an hour and talk about something that's important that you have upcoming, so you make an announcement to wherever other platforms, let me know if you ever need me.
All right. Well, that's why I'm asking. Send me your address, mailing, and your email address and your phone numbers.
Got you.
How I would send something. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I remember that we did have some fun doing a show. I can't remember where we were.
We did it.
I think.
Yeah, New York City. We did that club with I can't remember his name, but he was there. Alan Steinfeld? Was Steinfeld? What was? Yes, that was fun.
He is a good guy.
Yes.
Straightforward.
We had a great time, and you were awesome with the fans. You took time to talk to them. I was like, look at her go.
Well, it's fun.
It is.
When people are genuinely enthusiastic about a subject that I know is crucial, is important, we have to break this bizarre hold of we're the only life form and all that crap that they have been dishing since World War II at least.
But you know what? Your presentation, that was like, I don't know how many years ago, like 8 years already. You were ahead of everything. You were talking about AI. If you remember, I was like, holy shit, everything everything you said, it's like a lot of it is like what's happening. And I'm like, oh my God, she saw what you actually nailed it.
Yeah, well, there were people that I knew in science who were talking about the coming AI flood and that it could be really disruptive to the earth because AI is no walk in the park if you want to separate truth from reality.
Absolutely.
Or truth from, and right now, my exposure to artificial intelligence in a variety of ways through people who are using it, it scares me.
It does.
Because the writer, whoever it is, they write well. It's too pretty. To me, you can tell AI, unless it's being done for a military purpose, you can tell very quickly the language is too pretty. Humans do not talk as perfectly as AI delivers a text.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize that we already have parents that are panicking over the disruptions in their child's personality, the problems at school, and educators are coming back. There was a big story in the New York Times just a couple of days about this very subject. And now laws are starting to be passed, finally, in states outlawing that any child 6 or under, 9 or under, 12 or under are not going to be allowed to use cell phones in school.
They're doing some bans now in other countries right now. They're not allowing. I don't.
Oh, absolutely, all over the place. And the thing about it is that there were very highly intelligent, educated people at that time when I did that presentation in New York.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very agitated about what was happening, and what they said then when I did that presentation has all come true.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You called it. Another thing too, off topic, because I've been covering a lot what's going on in Iran, but I have friends in Iran, and if Iran becomes free and a democratic state again, I may be traveling to Iran, and there could be an introduction of the UFO stuff, the stuff that we don't know about. Someone mentioned it to me, that we may be able to dig a little deeper on that. Would that be something you'd be interested in, maybe in the future, if you had the time to travel to Iran and look into the UFO?
Remember, I've always been an investigative reporter and producer, so I'm very hard on things that are not facts.
I understand.
And if you are in the Middle East, you are not in any environment that is going to tell you the truth. And what the relationship is going to be going forward between Iran, Iraq, and the United States is a big question mark.
It is, but...
And it could be very, very dangerous. And increasing the amount of legislation that will be passed to keep children after school, if they can't be picked up by parents, we're moving into a completely different, unfree age.
Okay, but let me give you the scenario. If I was to travel to Iran in the future, and I was with other Iranians, and I was uncovering witness testimony or anything else, I'm going to reach out to you. Because...
I wouldn't want to go to Iran. I would not want to go to Iraq or Afghanistan or any
You think
other
it's too risky? It's too risky.
Oh, it's way too risky. If we last week there was some poll that was done by one of the reporters in the New York Times about how many people had been shot in the face,
I know.
in the chest,
oh my God,
in the arm, and in the back. And as I read that story, I was flooded with an emotional response of, this is the United States. I'm reading the New York times. These number of people have been shot straight out by law enforcement in just the last 10 days.
Yes.
Something horrible is taking place.
Yes. Oh my God,
And
it's horrific.
It has to be cleansed out because
Yes.
it's going to be. I used to feel so safe to travel this planet. I never had any man rape me. And I think of all of the places. I've been in, I think it's 32 countries. And I never, ever can remember feeling afraid in all those years from graduating from high school, getting married, being a producer at KNBC in Los Angeles, and a reporter, all of those things that I was doing with the feeling of I am a free American and I can travel anywhere and nobody's going to touch me.
Yeah.
That feeling has been gone for so long.
Yeah.
I now make decisions on, would it be safe to go to Central at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the sun up in order to look for YZ? And almost always now it's not worth it. And I am one of millions that are going through the same revolution. I don't know what the United States is going to end up being after Trump.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'll say this.
But what's coming, I'll just finish. Musk is, it doesn't matter how many so-called fights are depicted between him and Trump. They both act with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And oh God, how long ago? Whenever to make him king of Mars.
I agree that he does know a lot more than he lays on about the UFO field and everything else. I will say this to you, and I don't want to keep you, but definitely I'm going to send the email. If I go, I'm just saying, if I go to Iran and I uncovering anything, I'm contacting you. You'll be here. I'll be there, but I will definitely communicate with you so I can present maybe some people on Earth Files via whatever, however the streaming is, and maybe they can.
Well, but my relationship with the people I interview is usually reporter and scientist or military
Right,
person.
and you vet them. I know that. I know.
Yeah, I try to stress those two.
I know.
And I try really hard to give as much provable
Right.
information.
I know. I get that.
out there. Okay, so I don't do any of the podcast for a frivolous reason.
I know.
And because it is so difficult, and so many people, including Lou Elizondo, has become so afraid of what is actually happening. Where once upon a time he was on the other side of the ledger making laws and
No.
control.
Yeah. Yep.
So be careful, whatever you're doing, be careful, and just hear me say when I say agape hug, Bill, you are one of the more calm, decent people that I know, and I am grateful that you called me because it reminds me how much so many of us are disconnected, how many people no longer want to go to conferences because they're afraid.
Yeah.
That's what is taking over. So feel an agape hug. Let me know
I will.
if you get going to Iran, and I'd be interested in talking with you about what you learned.
Okay. Also, don't get buried in the snow. And I love you. You know how much I love you. Mom sends her love, and God willing, I will see you again.
We are fellow beings. That's what agape hugs are about.
That's it.
Fellow beings.
Exactly.
Okay.
Love you. I'll be in touch. I will. I will.
Sorry.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye. Yeah, that's Linda Moulton Howe. I did that because Cosmic Concerns is like interested, I had to, and plus, I am very good friends with her, as you can tell, and she respects me a lot. She doesn't say that about many people, what you just heard, and I'm humbled. I'm humbled. I'm not an egotistical person. I'm humbled by it. It's like flattering humble. You know, it's like, I don't like that. I get kind of blushy when that kind of stuff happens. But she meant everything. Like she's, you know, she's down to earth, and believe me, she'll tell you if she don't like you. She's not afraid to do that. That's why I have to lower at times, because she's telling me stuff that the public doesn't know. And I know you're hearing her conversation. There's some things you cannot hear because she's telling me stuff that is not meant. The other stuff is fine, and she, you know, she's right, and you guys would admit it. It's going to be very dangerous in Iran for some time, even after, because there's still going to be factions, extremists, and Americans definitely have to worry about where they travel. Just being American. That's true what she said. Damn right. She is a kind woman. Alvaro says she's right. Like I said earlier, Not Without My Daughter movie was based in Iran. The world's never been safe. There are bad people all over. Always has been. You just were not the victim like some. Yeah. So you guys may not know who she is. That woman is super famous in the field. Her big thing was cattle mutilations back in the day. She did a documentary. She's won Emmys. She's very well known. Linda Moulton Howe is well known in the field. She's like one of the top names. Now she's getting older now. Yes. And Sep, that's why I told her. And trust me, I work for a station. I can get the information out no matter what. But I was thinking more, could you imagine a person with her background and her name, Linda Moulton Howe, in Iran, doing a feature about UFOs from people, witnesses out there? But she's such a busy woman. But I know my stuff. As you can tell, she said that. She knows that I know. I've been in this game too long. I've hosted shows, I've co-hosted shows, produced, I can hold my own. Definitely. I could show you interviews that I've done with people at conferences. So it's not like, I shoot off the cuff. I'm not prepared. It's just that I'm knowledgeable. I don't need to have questions in front of me to ask. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's somebody I'm familiar with, I'm going to do research on them, get the background. If I'm not familiar with it, I'm definitely going to do the research and do my homework. It's only right to be prepared than go in blind. But my gosh, would I love to do... And even... There's a lot. I know I'm talking about the UFO stuff, but even the ancient structures, the artifacts in Iran, and be given permission to film it. And, I'm sure with some of you on chat right now may have friends there that can get us like special access to talk about something, or a tour guide that can tell us. We can do features on the ancient history of Iran. I don't know if that's something that they would want to share with the world, but I sure think that a lot of people would find it amazing and fascinating, because it's been so closed off for decades that it's like discovering a whole new world again. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, let's see, what did you say? One of my theories that's directly tied to UFOs and aliens. The search Artura Ahura Mazda symbol. Could you imagine, like, Sean, Sep, Navi, Ali, all of us, and I don't know you guys, but a lot of people that come to my house, I've never met them. I know them being online for years. I'm meeting them for the first time when they come to stay over my house. This happens all the time. And it's an amazing experience when we all meet, because it's like we've known each other forever, just never met in person. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, that reminds me of the Nazca lines. This reminds me a little bit, not a lot, but it does have, you know, the Nazca lines. There's something that looks not like that, but similar to this. This is what he wants me to show you. He told me to look for it. I think, and I'm not going to get into this topic too deep, I think if you look at most religions, where do they all point toward? Most. There's something. There's something about it. God, gods, whatever. It's global. Regardless of religion, beliefs, whatever. There's a connection. That was interesting what she said about Greenland, though. That is the symbol of religion of ancient Iran. Now, let me ask you a question. When I look at that symbol, what type of birds in ancient civilization did exist in Iran? Because I have no idea. Was there like a falcon or an eagle or a hawk? Something that would look like that? The symbolism of that? Where was that taken from? And I don't want to even touch about the Anunnaki. You see the figure sitting onto a circular shape with wings spanning left and right, yes. Eagles, falcons, and hawks are native to Iran. Okay, I did not know that. That is an interesting symbol. Are there, in Iran, are there any depictions like pictographs? Are there caves? Are there anything that have symbols? There has to be. There has to be. Similar to cuneiform or Sumer, anything like that? There has to be. There has to be a lot of symbols. Huma. Oh my God, I think I'm going to have like an overload if I ever went there. And I'm hyper. I'm a hyper person. I have a lot of energy. I'm not going to want to stop. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't think those steps are going to stop me. A ton. There is also similar stuff to the Nazca lines. That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought up Nazca lines. There looks like there's a lot of similarities just on that alone. But it's not studied because it's anti-Islam. Listen, I'm not interested in that. Because you know what this is considered? Forbidden or taboo archaeology. Because it's not the mainstream. The heck with that. The heck with that. A lot of people get criticized for that. because it's not what was taught. Dude, and like she said, it's true. It might be some time before things settle in Iran. When that day eventually comes, because I think it eventually will come. I'm not, I don't want to. I'm not sitting here making predictions that it's going to happen this weekend, next weekend, whatever. But when that day comes, it's still going to take time, because there's still going to be a lot going on, and that's a big country. You're still going to have them running all around. It's going to take a long time to get rid of that extremist element. A long time. My personal opinion, you have to realize that the regime and leadership has been very much against digging. In a way, that's good. They didn't touch it. They didn't mess with it, because they probably would have destroyed it. My personal belief is the global catastrophe happens at the end of a far future, and a group of people travel back in time and create the continuous loop. That's my personal belief. Your guess is as good as mine. I've always had my own conclusion, and this sounds crazy. You hear about these little grays, and I've had dreams, bad ones. Some not so bad, but not so good ones either. Think about this, and I got to get off in a few minutes because I had to go pick somebody up. I may come back because I'm bored. If evolution, and I'm not talking 100 years, thousands of years from now, and we have to live underground because the earth becomes uninhabitable on the surface, and we go underground. Lack of sun, different living environment. Could we look like those little grays? Big eyes adjusting to the lack of light, gray skin, lack of sunlight, smaller bodies, because we're underground dwellers now. Could we look like those grays in our evolution 20, 50,000 years from now? I always wondered that. Oh yeah, my mic. Thank you, Dusty, for reminding me about my mic. Could we look like those grays 50,000 years from now? If we were underground dwellers, big eyes, lack of sunlight, gray skin, lack of sunlight, the conditions of living underground, makes me wonder. So could they be from our future? Do they have to be from another world? Could they be interdimensional? I truly believe there's the interdimensional connection. There is no doubt. I definitely believe there's some type of an interdimensional. And now there was a congresswoman that said she knows a lot. I don't know if it was Luna. Someone said she knows, but she'll get in trouble if she talks about it. But she says that this is happening, interdimensional. Yes. Eventually, the surface of the planet is going to become uninhabitable. The temperatures. I'm not talking like global warming now, but in time, it's just going to become impossible to live on the surface. Unless you build like the similar structures that we would put if we colonized planets. But you're talking about what happens to the entire population. Do we go off-world? Do we go underground? Or do they just become extinct? What happens to humanity? I don't know. Isn't that one of the J-Rod stories that he's one of us from 50,000 years in the future and they lived in caves? I don't know. But it's sure something I've always wondered. It kind of makes sense in the evolutionary stage. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it could make sense. Anyway, you lovelies. What time is it in Iran now? It's like 6:15 a.m., something like that. Morning. Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's
Yeah.
6:15 a.m. in
Is
Iran
Toast
right
for
now.
Life? Toast of Life? Wasn't those? What was that movie? The Time Machine or something? The Morlocks? The something that lived underground? Was it something like that? I remember seeing that. Toast to Life of Toast of Life. Was it the Time Machine movie or something in the future? Now that you say that. But seriously, starting tomorrow night, which is tomorrow afternoon here, we need to pay attention. Once the markets close here, yes, the Morlocks. That's right. After the markets close here at 4, which is 8, that would be 12:30 a.m. in Iran, we need to start paying attention if anything's going to go off. So you know I'm streaming live tomorrow. Definitely in the afternoon. As Dusty reminded me of a nor'easter where I might get 2 feet of snow. Thanks, Dusty, for reminding me today. So we will definitely be on tomorrow. If I don't come back later, because I'm a little tired now. If anything happens, I'll come back, but I don't think anything's going to happen. Daytime, light. Tomorrow, we got to see. We got to keep a close eye now on this. Yeah, I got to go too. Concerns. I got to go get somebody, pick somebody up. Silver, $98 right now. Got to watch the markets. So if anything happens, I know Sep is going to come on with me. To the others in here that are Iranian friends in here, if you want to come on, we can make that happen. Ali, Navi, Sean. I know I'm missing a few, but Sep definitely will be joining me, I hope. So while things are going on, and then, I think that would be great to have someone who's Iranian that can relate to what's going on. Alvaro, have a great night. Love to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. Prayers for the people of Iran. Prayers for the people all over the world. And I'll see you all soon. So, again, prayers. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. I don't know if I'm coming back. I might. We'll see. But definitely tomorrow.